Hey, Micah, how are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good. We've been asking a lot of the rookies about hitting the rookie wall or their experience with hitting the rookie wall. My question to you is there a dad wall? And I mean that in the sense of how your
Great
career or
question.
preparation has changed from the last 2 years of you having kids to maybe earlier in your career when it was just you and your wife.
Um, yes, I think a dad wall exists. Number one, and I say that because I think that here in Buffalo, when the weather gets bad, and I think it's also due to COVID. I just happened to pick the right time to have two kids, and right at the beginning of COVID was our first child. So that's all we know is having kids during COVID, and I know that it's tough on my wife. I know it's tough on a lot of the wives in the building. I think this is just universal, but it's tough on the wives here in Buffalo because you can't take the kids outside; it's too cold, and they're kind of been quarantining since it got cold. So, I know my wife is trapped in the house with two babies all day, and that's not ideal. So, obviously, when I get home, that's where that dad wall comes in, and I'm just like, hey, put your head down, and we all got to work till hopefully mid February.
I'm with you because I have a 1.5-year-old. So all we know is COVID parenting as well. I'm just saying, like, they talk about routines of what and getting your rest and how meticulous you guys are. That has to have been completely flipped upside down, I imagine, as a pro athlete.
Yeah, that happened last year. And we're creatures of habit, man. Like our routine throughout the year is in past years, I could have told you in September what we'd be doing in November and the schedule in December. But now it's kind of, you better pay attention to the app and see what might change the next day. And it's kind of crazy. I think that last year was the beginning of it all, just because we'd be going to away games, going to the airplane, and they'd say, "Hey, can't come. Someone test positive. Come see you in a couple hours." We're like, it's the day before the game. Like, what time are we even getting to the next city? At times, I didn't even know what city we were flying into when we got there, and I just would go straight to the hotel, go to sleep, wake up the next day, and go to the stadium and play a football game. Like, that's how wild it was. So that's kind of the mindset we've all kind of developed throughout the last couple of years.
I appreciate it, Micah.
Of course.
Hey, Micah, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Your second was born in the season, right? This year?
Yeah. Yep.
Maybe two. What's that week like? Managing all this. We were just talking to Mitch, and he said, it's all planned out and everything like that, but it's got to weigh a little bit on you with all the extra stuff going on.
Well, I think that it was definitely a lot. It was a lot. Mavi was born right before our first game. And so, there's a lot of chaos, a lot of stuff going on. Obviously, you got to make sure your daughter's fine, got to make sure your wife's fine, and all that. But at the same time, I think that it was kind of gave me a boost at the beginning of the season. I wasn't getting as much sleep, and I was kind of just coming in here and just going, just drinking my coffee and just trying to get through the day. And it kind of gave me an extra boost early in the season. So it was, I don't think I kind of hit a wall then, not at all. I think it was obviously when the season gets longer and, you're waking up and the sun's not out. And by the time you get out of here, the sun's long gone and it's dark out. I think that's kind of when the wall hits you.
Mm-hmm. This week, the Jets, Zach Wilson, it seems, I've watched a couple of his games. He looks like he's made a lot of progress. You guys didn't face him the first time. But what are you seeing on tape with him and what he's been able to do the last couple of weeks?
Well, I think first of all, his arm talent, he can make every throw. His arm talent all over the field is impressive. Impressive for a young guy. You see why they picked him as high as what they did. He can throw it all over the place, and I think now he's. I think the hardest thing to do as a quarterback is reading defense. And I'm not a quarterback. I'm not a quarterback coach, but I would like to think that one of the hardest things to do is reading the defense and kind of getting clues onto what they might be. And you could tell that he's picking that stuff up. And so, impressive young guy. And like I said, can throw the ball all over the place. And he's going to be really good in this league.
Thanks, Micah.
Of course.
Hey, Micah. I wanted to ask you, when Sean first took over and you first got here, how often did he use the phrase "trust the process"? And what was your reaction to at least the way he presented it to us? It was almost ad nauseum.
Yeah. I mean, I remember kind of the joke around town for the first couple of years was trust the process, trust the process. He would tell us that too. And I think that, it was kind of something we all rallied around. I don't want to make it, I don't want to make it seem like it was like a real cheesy chant or whatever you may call it. But, I just think we all rallied around it. We just understood that, like, just keep getting better each and every day. Just keep getting better. Trust the process. And, I think that it held true. Once we saw, in the first year, we went through a 3-game slide and we came out of it and we were able to make the playoffs. I think guys, eyes kind of opened up and was like, I think this is working. And then going into the second year, obviously tough times, but towards that end of the year, we were still playing hard and we were still playing good ball. So I think that then again, guys like, oh, we're moving the right direction. And then from 19 and on, you see the progress that we've made. And so, it's held true. Just trust the process from when we got here in 2017 until now, and even, beginning of the season this year until now. Like, just trust, keep putting in the work every single day. And, hopefully by the end of the year, you can look up and, you're one game away from winning the division. So, here we are.
Was it something in 17 where it almost maybe initially was like just another line from a coach? Obviously, you've been around football coaches for a while. They all have their little lines and things that they go to. I mean, yeah. Was it that 3-game losing streak and coming out of it? Was that like the turning point of where it was like, okay, I actually understand it and believe it? Or was it, from the jump, okay, we're just going to rally behind it?
Obviously, you had to go through difficult times and fail a few times to really understand, what we were trying to do. And I think that in the losses that we had that year, we were still fighting and fighting hard, and even at 18. So I think that's when it kind of, I don't want to say it was one game after that 3-game slide that it just clicked. Like, it wasn't anything like that. I just think throughout the first couple of years of us being in the system, it was really eye-opening.
And does he still use it as often as he did back earlier in his time here?
Yeah. I that's still something he preaches a lot. Doing your job and trusting the process and all that type of stuff. And that's not just him. It's all the coaches, it's even the players. We even talk about that when we're talking to young guys and all that type of stuff. So it's kind of the Bills slang, Bills lingo that we all use. And, obviously started with Sean.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Of course.
What's up, Micah?
Maddie, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
MLK Day is coming up in a couple weeks, January 17th. So what does Martin Luther King mean to you?
Oh man, I got asked this last year, and it kind of took me off guard. So I'm like, oh, what does it mean to me? But I think that the older I get, the more I realize what Martin Luther King was able to do. Honestly, we learned about it a lot in school growing up, and I don't think it's until now, the last couple of years of being an adult, that I really realized what he was able to do, and just preaching love, like just love one another. It's as simple as that, and just bringing along, the minority that didn't have as many rights as the majority. So I just think it means a lot, and I think that the times that we're going through right now, it's very important to really just look to the person beside you and just love on them and appreciate them.
Why do you think it's good to have role models like him, especially a role model like that who you can teach your kids about and teach other people about who weren't around when he was alive?
Well, I think it's important, number one, to learn from history. I think there's a lot of stuff that has gone on in our past that we can all learn from, and having a guy like Martin Luther King that really faced a lot of scrutiny, as you know, and a lot of backlash, and just to further his people. And I think that kids, I know my kids one day, I'm gonna preach Martin Luther King, and I'm gonna preach just love and equality, and hopefully one day that we can get to a world where everybody's preaching that.
Thanks, Micah.
Of course.
Hey, Mike, it's Jay with the Buffalo News. The last couple of weeks, Sean has kind of brought up the idea that backing up a season like you guys had last year kind of comes with its own challenges. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that idea. What are those challenges when you have a season like last year that so many things went right and you try to duplicate it?
Well, I think that last year so many things went right, but at the same time, I don't think people saw all the wrong things that, like we failed last year. Like we had some, and obviously I don't remember our record exactly. We had 3 losses, I think it was.
Yeah, you're 13-3 in the regular season.
But there was times that we didn't play our best ball, and we just so happened to win. And I feel like, last year was its own season. And the longer I've been in this league, I realized like every season is tough. It doesn't matter if same guys come back. Kind of what I was saying back at training camp. Like a lot of the guys came back, but it's not going to be the same season. You're going to have injuries. You're going to have COVID. You're going to have distractions. You're going to have so many other things. And so it's going to be a roller coaster of a year no matter what. And so, this year we're realizing that. And, I feel like we're able to put our heads down and just continue to work through all the BS that was going on around us. And here we are. We clinched a playoff spot, and now we're trying to win a division. So, I just think that every year has its own issues. And, I'm blessed to be in this locker room with these guys, these players, these coaches, and, with the expectations that we had coming in and trying to preach to the young guys and trying to preach to even you guys. Like, it doesn't matter what we did last year. We got to do our own thing this year. And I think that's what we're all realizing.
So, you mentioned there that, there's a lot that's happened this season that could potentially tear a team apart or, come between a locker room. And, you had your down moments. Now you're on kind of that upswing, right? You've won 3 games in a row. You've got a chance to clinch the division at home. But when those moments were at their most difficult, how did you see the team respond as a captain, as a leader who's, partially responsible for keeping that group together? How do you guys think you came through it? And do you think you're on the other side now?
Well, I think that this team has always responded. There was never a time where we were in the locker room, pointing fingers at each other, saying offense, you got to do this, or defense, you got to do that. Like that never happened. So to us, we kind of just in our locker room, we just held together, man. We just loved on each other. We understood like at times we weren't playing our best football defensively, offensively, special teams, as a whole team, whether it's players, coaches, whatever. And I just think we stuck to it. There was we always tried to flush the game before, move on to the next game and respond. And so I think that if you have a football team that's able to do that, and you have coaches that are preaching that, you have leaders on the team that are preaching that, I think it'll be fine. Obviously, the point of being in this league is winning football games, but you can also lose games and learn a lot about yourself. And I think that's what we did this year.
Cool. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate your time as always.
Yep.
Hey, Micah, this actually goes well with what you're talking about with Jay. I was curious, how would you just kind of describe the vibe right now in the locker room? Like, what's it like in the facility? How does it feel similar to right before the playoffs last year? Or what does it feel like?
It's everybody's competing, everybody's having fun. There's a lot of trash talk today in practice, which is always good. It's whole true from training camp all the way through the season. If guys are out there competing in practice, that's when you tend to show up on Sundays and have good games. So, I just think that everyone's excited. Everyone's excited for the opportunity we have on Sunday to win the division back-to-back years. But we understand like this is a NFL game we're about to play on Sunday. Like this team isn't just going to roll over and give us the division. Like they're going to come in. They have a young quarterback that's trying to get some experience, and he's going to be throwing the ball around. They've been running the ball well the last couple of games, so we understand that that's something that we have to stop. So we're just all coming together as a team and understanding like this is going to be another dogfight, and they're going to make us earn it, and we're going to have to go out there and play our best game.
And understand you're not looking ahead, but with the run you guys went on last year, and obviously that was just a year ago. So how does that prepare you do you feel like it helps the team as a whole, like be more prepared for what's to come, not like be overthinking it? Or is this kind of more still it's a separate thing?
Well, I think experience in the playoffs is always big. And I know myself personally as a young guy, as a rookie, I was able to go to the playoffs, and then when we went the next year, I felt more comfortable. You understand, it's win or go home. You put a lot more emphasis on the game study, film study, and stuff like that. So, I think that experience is big, but at the same time, like I said, last year was last year, and this year is a totally different season. So, we're focused on this game, try to win the division, and then whatever happens in the playoffs, we're gonna prepare accordingly.
And is there anyone specifically who talks the most trash at practice that we don't get to see? Like, is the obvious people
I feel like you guys could really guess the one guy that talks the most about. And I've made it be known, to you guys a lot that gets on my nerves. So so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Just wanted to make sure it wasn't any surprises. Thanks, Micah.
No surprise at all.
Hey, Micah, it's Jackson over in Rochester. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good, thanks. So I know you guys talk about the 24-hour rule and how you try and, stay focused, laser focused each game. But, with the games getting bigger at this time of year, are there new methods in the ways you do that? Can you kind of take me inside how you guys shift your focus forward, or is it just as easy at this time of year as it is earlier in the year for you?
Well, it's never easy. I will say that it's never easy to get up every day and prepare for a team, play the game, and then just flush everything that you went through that whole week before and prepare to a new, for a new team, a new challenge, whatever. So it's never easy. But I think that we've developed a system around here. Once the week starts of getting in, watching film, understanding how to watch film, so that once you get in here, the coaches and the players have an understanding together. We've all watched the same things to start the week so that we can come in here and start having conversations about it. So, when that time comes, just like throughout this whole entire week, we're preparing for the Jets, and, hopefully Sunday go out there and play fast. And then once the playoff starts, starts all over again. So, you could say the games are getting bigger and more people are paying attention. There's going to be millions and millions of people watching these live primetime games. But at the end of the day, we're all here to try to make each other better. And ultimately, we go out there to play for each other. And as long as you do that, I think everybody will be fine.
Makes sense. And the last one I got for you is obviously it's been a little while since Bills have clinched a division title at home. What would it mean to you to do it in front of a full house?
Amazing. I just got the chills. I really just got the chills thinking about it. I sound like Sean. It's going to be amazing, man. And I think that I'm definitely not going to take it for granted. We understand this is a huge game. Like I said before, the Jets are a good football team. I don't care what anybody says, what their record says. They have a quarterback coming in that can get hot, trying to get some experience and can throw the ball over the field. So they've been running the ball well, and it's going to be on us to stop them. So to clinch it at home in front of our fans, I don't think I've ever done that. This is year 9. This is 8th year going to the playoffs, and I've never clinched for a home game. So I'm excited for it.
All right. Thanks, man.